National Environmental Policy. National Environmental Policy here, but NEP is also got new education policy, no? So how education should be reaching the students, the central government has made a policy. National Environmental Policy, NEP, came into existence on 2006. So they have given a guideline. This is being implemented by central government. Ministry of Environment and Forest. This ministry has brought this new environment policy. Ministry of Education has brought what? New education policy. New environmental policy is brought by which ministry? Ministry of Environment and Forest. So you have a specific entity for that. How to effectively manage the environment through this kind of policy. Best way to aid conservation. Article 48 says that the environment is a resource of state government. You have two governments. One is central government and another one is state government. So Article 48 says that directive principles of state policy. So environmental preservation can be done by state government alone. Central government will not involve. Now you heard about interlinking of rivers. Rivers are flowing between states. But if we interlink all the rivers, we get more water and water can be preserved. Now, why does central government cannot implement the interlinking of rivers is due to the Article 48. This is written in law that the rivers can be linked by getting the approval of state government. So, state government policy emphasizes that they are the responsibility to protect environment. That is why the state government is more powerful than central government in case of environmental issue. Now, second one, Article 51. What does it say? Who is the owner of environment? We have water, we are consuming air, we are consuming land. Who is the owner of that is, according to Article 51, every Indian citizen is a owner of the environment. The environment, what are its inclusions? First one is forest, lakes, rivers and wildlife. So nobody can steal. Why? Because it is the common property. Whose property is this? Every individual citizen's property. Now that is why if you are hunting an elephant, the law will enforce. Who will catch you? The forest guard will catch you and he will imprison you. Why he is imprisoning? If I am hunting an animal, the animal is not being raised by any individual. Hunting deers, it is not a private property, it is public. But why they are catching us in the sense, according to Article 51, it says that it is a property of each and every citizen. That is why hunting is not coming under law, it is violating of law. So these are all coming under environmental policy. Now it is a comprehensive guideline. For whom? For every ministries. How many ministries are there? Around 60 plus ministries are there in a cabinet. If they want to make any decision in a parliament, they have to go across this environmental policy. Make sure that it is not overruling the other policies. So these are called Sustainable Development Goals. 17 numbers are there. Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Yearly they have budget. They are releasing funds. How much fund is being released for Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change? You can check in this RTA, Right to Information. Whatever is updated, you can get from here. Can you see an image? Grandfather, he is catching this environment and he is giving to the next generation. Why we are making objective for environmental policy is, we consume this environment and we are leaving the planet. When we are leaving, they should make sure that the environment is preserved and it is given to the next generation. So that is what is indicated here. So the objective of the environmental policy is conservation of critical environmental resource. Why they are writing this? They want to conserve this or preserve. That is why they are writing this policy. Next one, intra-generational equity. What do you mean by that? There is a generational gap between these two persons. Environment has to be transferred from one generation to another. If you are transferring, there should not be any degradation of environment. That is called intragenerational equity. Now you have another one, intergenerational equity. What do you mean by equity? Equity is otherwise called justice. Can you check these two images? Equality versus equity. If you are grown for well-developed nations, they have a systematic development plans for their reaching of sustainable development goals. But for developing countries, it is very rare. So whom should help? The well-developed countries should support the developing country in order to get equity. Human beings are center of sustainable development. Who are all living in this environment? Along with us, we have plants, we have animals, we have microorganisms, etc. It is called environment. So principle says that human beings are center of sustainable development. Policy number 2, right to development. Every government has a right to develop. Now, we had sparrows and crows. Before 15 to 20 years, it was there around our house. The sparrows were there. Every morning it will come early 6 to 7. But can you see now these kind of sparrows are visiting our house or our environment? Take an example of our college. Can we see any sparrows here? No, we cannot see. Why? Because we have a policy of development. We developed the 5G technology. Wherever this 5G technology went, due to this Wi-Fi network connection, the sparrows are migrating to one place to another. We are developing, what happens? The sparrow is moving from one place to another, so there is a loss of biodiversity and species is moving from one place to another. That is why, can we stop the development? No, we cannot stop development. We need 6G also. The environment should not depleted, development should also happen. Both should be equally enhancing. That is why the government has a right to development. Some environmental activist can put a case on court that you are keep on improving your technology, but environment is degrading. We are putting a case on government that you should not develop. Can we put a lawsuit on government? No, we cannot put. Why? Because government is having a right to development. Government wants to develop the country's infrastructure. Environmental protection is an integral part of development process. If any initiation from the government, any products from the government is launched, the government has to check that it is environmental free development. So this is called environmental protection, is an integral part of development process. Then precautionary approach. If we are handling hazardous waste, we have to have a preventive approach. What happens if we are consuming that and after consumption this is going to harm the environment? So we should have a precautionary approach. Some development has credible threats and serious irreversible damage. This is what said. Some things are irreversible. Example is nuclear waste. We are consuming uranium, some wastes are there, and what we are doing now, we are dumping that uranium waste deep inside the sea. This dumped uranium will cause harm to the ocean. This kind of developments are very harmful. That is why they say precautionary approach. If any unforeseen activity comes, there should be a precautionary action for post cost effective measures. Next one, economic efficiency. Every natural ingredient that comes from environment has some value. What are they? First one, what is this? Water. Does water has some value? Where you derive water? Water cannot be manufactured. It is from the environment due to hydrological cycle. Now, do you have value for water? What is 1 liter water cost? 10 rupees, 20 rupees, like that. 10 to 20 rupees. Now, do you have value for gold? Are you manufacturing gold? You are manufacturing jewelry, but not gold. Gold is being arrived from the ground. It is a natural process of earth to get this mineral. So humans are extracting that. They are not a person who are creating. Do you have value for gold? What is the value of 1 gram gold? 6,000 plus. Why water is getting naturally, gold is also getting naturally, but why gold is having 6,000 rupees and water is having only 10 rupee value? Because of its abundance. So that is why they say that drinking water has some economic efficiency, economic significance. Forest. What is the cost of 1 kg of wood? It might be around 40 to 50 rupees. 1 kg of water is 10 rupees. Every environmental value has some economy. So you have minerals. Minerals are very costly. How they do is, if water is available plenty, they make lesser cost. If gold is less, they make higher cost. Whatever is not available naturally, the cost will be high. That is why gold demand is very high. Diamond. Why diamond is more costly than gold? Because natural process of becoming coal to gold is very longer time. Carbonation process. That is why diamond rate is too much higher. So whatever is very rare in environment, that has more economic value. That is why they say economic efficiency. Next one. Something in environment are incomparable values. What do you mean by incomparable is? There is no alternative for that. Example, water. Do you have alternative for water? If you are thirsty, you consume water, your thirst will get reduced. When you are thirsty, drink salt water, your thirsty will not stop. Your stomach will get full, but your thirsty will not stop. So fresh water has incomparable values. Natural product has some incomparable values. That also we have to preserve. That is why man-made entities would not accept the risk of compensation of money. You cannot compensate of money for everything. Money cannot compensate anything. Certain things are incomparable. That has to be dealt separately. Now, seventh one is equity. Equity is otherwise called justice. There should be a equity in environmental use. If a private organization is running a plant or they are producing some product, government organization is producing some product, both have same law. They are both in procedural equity. If they want to start an industry, they have to follow same process. If private organization has to run a company, they should also follow the same process. That is why fair rules should be there for any of the companies. They register. If they want to register, all the companies should have equity in norms. Can you see this example here? This is inequality. What do you mean by that? A kid is here. In one side of the place, you have more fruits. When he throws the stone, he is getting immediately a fruit. Other side, you have a kid. He is not having fruits on the side. This is called inequality. That kid should have equal options. The second image you see, equality. Equality is providing a ladder to them. This is also not equality. They need fruits. They do not need the mode. So equity is what? Providing the ladder in an appropriate way so that both will get fruits. That is called equity. So a smaller organization, some person is starting an industry. Does he need to buy a FSSI? FSSI. There is a registration, no? The certificate should be there. If you want to open a restaurant, what certificate you have to get? FSSI certificate you have to get. For a Pani Puri stall, the same FSSI certificate is required. Even for 5-star hotel, same certificate is required. This is called equity. Now, legal liability. Have you heard about the term liability? Land liability. Who's land owner? If you are having a land, you are the owner of the land. Then who is liable? The landowner is liable. For environment also you have liability. That is called environmental liable. Imagine if a company is running and during the operation of the plant leaked with environmental pollution. What happens? This environmental pollution will harm others. In one class I have explained the Bhopal gas tragedy. What do you mean by that? In 1984, there was an industry called Union Carbide. It is a US industry. Once the fertilizer was leaked, around 5,000 people immediately died. Due to air pollution, they died. So the company has given a compensation of around 5,000 crore of rupees. So who is liable? If any company is running and they cause an industrial damage, they should be liable for compensation. That is what given in legal liability. What are the types of insurance we have? We have health insurance, life insurance. What do you mean by health? If our health is damaged, it's called health insurance. Then if we are dead, we get life insurance. Another type of insurance is there which is called pollution legal liability insurance. This is for whom? This is for industry. The industry might one day create pollution to environment. The government will impose fines. Who will pay the fine? Insurance company. Why? Because they are paying insurance for that liability issue. Next one is public trust doctrine. Public trust, an article 21. This says that who is the owner of environment is people. You can see he is the center. The state is not the absolute owner. If you have a lake, who is the owner for that lake? Is the public is the owner for the lake. The police and the government are the trustees. They manage that, but the publics are the owners. Decentralization. What do you mean by decentralization is? The central government will give the authority to state government, and whatever improvement has to be taken will be taken in Karnataka by Karnataka government. If some decisions has to be taken in Delhi, will be taken by Delhi government. So like that, they distribute the power, they will not do it directly. Now, that state government will further give power to local authorities. What are they? In Kengeri, if any water bodies has to be maintained, they will give power to the water bodies and they will maintain the lake. Now, next one is integration. When any initiation is happening or the corporate registration or if any patent is being registered, every innovation is being done by registering patent. In patent industry, they check this integration. What do you mean by integration? Inclusion of environmental consideration in sectoral policy making. That you mean by what? If any technology is there, they will check that if it is environmental free. If it is not environment free, they will reject the technology. This is called integration. Whatever implementation is done by central, state, local government bodies, implementation of environmental policy they will check. If it is not coming under this policy, they will not implement. And 12th one is environmental standard setting. The first class I have discussed environmental management system, EMS. They follow IS 14,000. Next one is preventive action. We should have a preventive action for environmental damage. Now, can you see an image here? There are two pictures. Two places you have trees. Imagine the people have to move there. What they have to do? They have to build a home. So they are building a home, but the trees were cut there. What they have to do? They have to plant new trees in the existing area. So plant the same amount of trees in the place where you are not occupying. This is called preventive action. Preventive environmental damage is the first place rather than restoring it. And finally, environmental offsetting. So environmental offsetting is, do not consider environmental development is a separate entity. Protect and endangered species by making zoos. Why zoos are protected? Because those species will be rare in the environment. So those species, some samples they will take and they will protect them in a zoo. That is why environment offsetting, whatever is being eliminated, they will integrate into the environmental system for sustaining life and well-being.